Yo, what's going on, my print peeps? Thank you for checking back in. For those of you who are new, my name is Dave with Diversity Print, and I need to get me a mic. I need to get me one of those mics. If any of you guys have a suggestion on a good mic, so if you have a good quality brand that you guys use, let me know. I don't even know what they're called, but the little clip-ons, you know, so you can talk. Because I have to be close to this camera when I talk, and I can't like go far away or move around. So it would be really nice to have a mic so I can walk around and not have to raise my voice and lower it, and remember that I have to go up and down. You know. But anyway, all right. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do two different printing processes on a shirt. Now it's not a combined image using that. It's just test prints. So on one side we're going to do a screen print, and on the other side we're going to do a heat transfer. And this is just to see what the customer would prefer. So leave a comment down below and let us know which one you think we're going to end up choosing, or which one you think the client ends up choosing. So the first one is going to be a heat transfer, okay? And I'm going to be using Jet Pro Soft Stretch. Jet Pro Soft Stretch is the only heat transfer that I use for whites and lights. I do not use heat transfers for dark garments. The quality that isn't there for me. I don't like it. I've tried a few brands, and I don't like it. If somebody out there wants to send me one saying that their new innovation is going to change my mind, go ahead and send it my way. If I like it, I'll do a video. If not, I probably won't, because it'll be just too many negatives on that. So the heat transfers on one side, and then we're going to have a one color halftone on the other side. And as you can see, there's no information because we have it on another screen. And the reason I did that is because I wanted this to be spot color, so I can get the most amount of ink deposit on the shirt. Kind of wanted to last a long time, or I wanted that, I wanted the name and all that stuff to pop, okay? And plus, I have in the letters I have some kind of flower pattern going on, so I kind of didn't want to mess that up with halftones. So I did a spot color on this, and that way I can get the most ink out of that screen. Okay, I am using 230 on both. I was going to go lower on the information screen, but I just grabbed two 230s. I think I did 45 LPI on those. And yeah, we're gonna do black ink. And did I show you guys the shirt? I can't remember. So I'm gonna be doing it on a light yellow. It's like a banana looking color. It's a Gildan soft style, so I think that's a 6400. I think it's a 6400 Gildan soft style. Enough talking, let's get to it. Okay, so since since my design is kind of like down a little bit on the downside, I mean, you know, I'm already at the end of my, well, I'm not at the end, but I'm kind of flush. I can pull the screen out a little bit more towards me so I can bring this image down a little bit. I mean, I'm probably about 2 fingers out right now, because 3 fingers will go to the wedge mark. So, I mean, 2 fingers is the width of the actual frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to loosen up the knobs on the bottom of this pallet. And right now the front of this bracket is at 8, and so that's the cool thing about these little side rulers, is I don't have to get an actual ruler and measure the distance from the back to the front. I mean, I think I would, just to be on the safe side, but these stickers are all put on exact from the back to the front here. Every pallet arm has one, and they're actually pretty accurate. So I'm gonna move this pallet down probably to the 7, and then we'll see how the image looks on the top here. I'm just gonna hand tighten it a little bit and then bring the screen down. Oh, that's perfect. So I went down 3 fingers. I mean, I went down to the 7, and here is the pallet underneath. Okay, and so 3 fingers goes right to the top of that image, and that's moving it. That's just moving that from the 8 to the 7. Of course, we have to align it. Get it straight. We're going to do the first print, we're going to tape over it, and then we'll do the second print on top to make sure the wedge marks line up and everything, and then if it's all good to go, we'll tape everything up and print the first test print. Always remember to mix up your inks. This one here, the plasticizer is, it's not really coming to the top, but if you have inks that have been sitting there for a long time, it'll get really wet on top, and that plasticizer actually starts separating from the pigment ink. So get your spatula in there and start mixing. Get a good grip on that sucker, because nothing will fly out your hand if you mix it too aggressive. Alright, let's go get our squeegee. I use different adhesives. This is a flash adhesive, Albachem. I have spray away as well. I think it's 384 fast tack. And you could also use, I think it's a Loctite, the 100 one, the low. Okay. Got my squeegee. I think this is a 9.5 inch wide print. It's about an inch. I'm using a 12. I think it's 9.5 wide. So it's about 1.25 inches, maybe somewhere on there. That's good enough. All right, so let's do it. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay. Let's look at it. Looks pretty good. Okay. And there it is. I did this all with Photoshop. You know, it could look a little bit better. Are you going to be able to tell by the naked eye? A normal, regular, just customer, just wanting a print? I don't know. But I did it with Photoshop, and I did the halftones through Photoshop. I didn't use the RIP software, and I think it came out pretty good. Alright, so since I like that, I'm going to go ahead and tape this up. Alright, so let's get to taping. I'll do a long one at the bottom, because that's where the name's going to go. So let's line up the second one. So you can use regular tape. If that's the only thing you have, you can use a clear transfer tape like R tape. I actually have a roll of that for when I do my vinyl with my vinyl cutter and everything. So I do have clear choice or R tape, whatever it's called, but that's over inside. So I have everything covered. So now what we're going to do is we're going to line up all the registrations, okay, and get those perfectly set up. And let me see if I can give you a good overview. I just don't want to knock this camera over. Now, doing registration for this type of artwork, I'm just trying to get it 100% or as close as to 100%, because this is not going to ever be touching each other. Now, if my artwork had color on top of color and I had to do butt registration and all that, then yeah, I would set this as close as possible. Then I would get my micro registrations and actually dial that in. But right now, I am looking good. These two bottom ones kind of messed up when they came out the printer, so I really can't rely on these two right here. But I am making sure these three up here and at least this bottom one down here matches, and they all pretty much match. So I'm gonna hold it down with one hand, which is probably gonna move on me, up and back down. Yeah, it didn't really move that much. It moved down a little bit. It moved down in that way, just a hair. But again, I'm not really worried about it, because this is going to be, I mean, you're not even going to tell the difference if I'm off a hair. But actually it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to check my off contact. Bring it up a little bit. It's actually higher in the front, so I'm going to bring it up just a little bit more, probably to about a ½ inch off of the platen, and the bottom is probably like a ¼ inch. And so what I'm going to do after I got this where I like it, I'm going to tighten my my off contact, and then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to mess with my tilt of my head, my print head. So I'm going to loosen those up. That's already loosened up. And that's good. Now it's level. I'm going to hold this because if I turn this, this will actually turn as well. So I'm going to hold that, tighten this, and then go ahead and tighten these two knobs. Okay, bring it up, bring it down, and shake it all around. Yeah, so I mean, if I really wanted to waste time, actually it's good. It's just a hair off. You can see the little black line right there. I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's no trouble. It's not worth the trouble. And of course you guys are gonna make me do it, aren't you? Aren't you? Yeah. The dogs are inside waiting for you. Tighten these back down. Okay, I think we're good. Go up, go down, shake it all around. And now we're good for our second test print. Okay, I think that'd be good enough just for the small test print. All right, for this one, I'm going to use that same 12-inch squeegee. Okay, and so I'm going to flood that. Okay. And come over here, flood that, do a push, a pull, and then another pull, and I can just leave it down like that. Okay, so let's bring it up. But that looks good to me. I know it's hard to see with the glare of the tape, but that looks good to me. The alignment is good. All right, so the test print looks beautiful. The alignment looks good. The halftones came out great, and the spot came out nice and bright, even though it's still on the tape. But I think it's gonna look nice on the shirt. It's gonna pop out. So now it's time to actually get a shirt on here. That flash has been heating up. It's ready to go. So we're gonna pop a shirt on here, do a print, flash cure it, and then get that heat transfer print on top of it, or on the other side of the shirt. So let's get to it. Check your shirts, guys and gals. This is a defect, but I decided to keep it. You know, I could have returned it or whatever, but I just kept it so I can do this video. Oh, what am I doing? Alright, let's do it. Okay, get you on the top view, get your eagle eye view. Ooh, that was a smooth transition. Uh-oh, you know what I'm saying? Uh-oh, I almost did a boo-boo and forgot to tape off. Let me tape off and I'll be right back. Okay, let's see if we missed any tape, missed any tape offs. Hopefully I got it all. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a pull. Okay. Oh, I missed one where it says white. I don't have a spot gun, but again, this isn't an actual production shirt. So let me get that before I miss that again. I don't know why, I was looking right at it too. I'm not even gonna trip, man. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna go flash this real quick. I do have this a little bit high because I was doing a print and I really didn't want it to cure that fast. I wanted like 20-second dwell time. So let me go get my temp gun. It's not smoking yet. I may want to drop it about an inch. I think I'm about 4 inches up. Let me see. No, I'm 3 inches up. And the thing about the infrared panels is when they get hot, they start dipping. So it'll go, you know, like that. So it'll come down about a 1/4 inch or maybe even a 1/2 inch when it gets hot. And I'm not sure I can get that on camera. See, that's level. You see how it's dipping a little bit? It's got a little dip in the center. All right, let's pull it out and see how it looks. Okay. Nothing coming off. Looks good. So let's get our second print on there. All right, so we got the second screen. I may have to put more ink on here. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can drag that ink from the top one here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flood. Okay. Push. I'm gonna flood. Push. Let me see if I can pick it up. Oh, it's a good pickup. So I'm gonna flood. Push. Flood. Push. I'm gonna see how it looks. Oh shoot. Totally forgot that screen was there. Alright, let's go around this way. So that looks pretty good to me. The ink is in the fibers. There's no ghosting. Nice coverage, very nice coverage. I do not need a second hit. I do not need to flash and then make a second hit on this one. It looks good to me. So we're gonna go ahead and flash cure this until it is done. Who wants to play Star Wars Battleship while we're waiting? Alright, we're at about 360 and it's already starting to smoke a little bit, so I think we're good. Okay, turn that off. Let's pull it out. Pretty good. Okay, so now it's time for the heat press test print. This is going to be Jet Pro Soft Stretch for whites and lights, and I'm going to be pressing my Jet Pro Soft Stretch at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 seconds using heavy pressure. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to use this DIY self-made medium density foam with just some blank newsprint paper. As you can see, it's getting yellow. It did start off like a whiter looking color, so it is starting to yellow a little bit. But before this thing gets super hot, actually let me put let's get the temperature here. So whoa, so we have the Geonite DK20S, and we're not going to program anything. Although I should have a program on here, but I don't have it for this. So I'm going to do my temp, and I'm going to go down to 375, and then hit temp again. And then once I hit temp again, it goes to my current. Okay, and so now I can move the arrows up and down. So this is the main screen. If I push my arrow down, or push the down arrow, it's going to go down to 30 seconds. Or I'm going to go down until it gets to 30 seconds. And there we go. So it's set. So if I hit my temp again, it's 375. See where it's blinking? I can hit my temp again, and now it's in my main screen. It's at 142 to 43, 44. It's rising. Before it gets too hot, let me get my shirt. Okay, so here's the shirt that I just did. So I'm gonna do on the back side. So before I do that, I'm gonna lay it flat here, and I'm gonna get my DIY pillow. Okay. And the reason I do this with the pillow is so that I can create that buffer, so that heat doesn't transfer too fast to the front side, to the screen print side. Although it wouldn't hurt. I mean, it could actually cure it a little bit more, you know. But anyway, let's bring it up. Let me get y'all back a little bit. All right, so I have the pillow in there. I'm just gonna push it down, or you can just grab the top of the shirt and just kind of shake it until that foam goes down a little bit. And the reason you have that paper covering it is so that it can slide around in there a little bit easier. Let's go down a little bit. Let's shake it. Okay. So I think we're good. Let's get the print. Let's go ahead and take this off. Put it to the side. And let's get to working on the print while that heats up, because we got one more step to do for the actual print. Alright, so now when you do Jet Pro Soft Stretch, you are going to need to cut around your image. On white, I've done it on white shirts, and I've left quite a bit, like maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, and you really don't see it on a white shirt. After the initial press, you'll see the box a little bit around it, but after the first wash, it goes away a little bit, and after the second, third wash, it starts disappearing, and you won't see that border around it. On this yellow, you may be able to see it a little bit, so you may want to get as close as possible to the edge. But after they wash it, or you or the customer washes it a few times, it will start disappearing on that outer edge of this paper. So we're going to get this, and we're going to magically cut it just like that. This is how we're going to cut it. We can't get in between the letters or whatever. You can create a contour box and use a vinyl cutter to actually get some precise cutting going on here, and do it that way. But it didn't take but about a minute and a half to cut all this out. So heat press is, well, the heat press is still heating up. All right, so while the heat press is heating up, I think we're done. We're caught up. Okay, it's ready. The oven is ready, so let's go see what's in the oven. Man, I wasn't even recording, was I? I guess it happens to everybody once in a while, huh? Let's figure out our pressure real quick. We forgot to do our pressure. That's pretty heavy already. So let's get our print. Man, it is like right there. I'm going to use a Teflon sheet just because, and I'm going to actually do it a little bit tighter, one full rotation. Just because the print is right on the edge of the pillow. So hopefully it all comes out good. I think they took it already. Okay. Teflon off. This is a hot peel. I pull the pillow out, I grab the sides, and I give it a pull all the way down the image. I go back up to the top and I give it a nice little pull. So basically the pulling while it's hot kind of separates the fibers that the heat transfer film is made out of, and it gives it a softer hand, which actually it's pretty soft. Kind of feels like water based right now, and it's not even washed yet. Let me show you the screen printed version. And the heat transfer version. Okay. Alright, so hopefully that video showed you a little insight on the halftone versus heat transfer. You know, they both look great. I love the way they both turned out. So if any of you guys answered heat transfer, that is the one we went with, or the client went with. Whenever you can do a heat transfer and you don't have to do the setup, if it's on white and lights and it's a quick turnaround, you know, you always have to wait for that artwork. And I actually had to edit this artwork because it had stuff on the very bottom. It had like a date in here, so I had to use the Photoshop and the what was that feature, content aware. I'm really not a pro at content aware, but it kind of worked, you know. In this one here, you really can't see the bottom. There was numbers down there, white letters where she was sitting behind. But I think it's good enough. You can't even tell. When you're at a pinch and you do have Jet Pro Soft Stretch, you know, give it a try and see how you like it. See how the customer likes it. So I did this one. Did the halftone. This is a lot more work than the heat transfer for just a handful of shirts. I think it was like 20 or something like that. Alright, so that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you liked this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Click the little bell so you get notifications. You know, I try and be active, but it's just so hard with things going on right now. Busy, and not enough time. Definitely not enough time in the day. So we'll catch you on the next one, and until then, I hope you're having a good day printing. Peace.